this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Om Klim Kalike Namaha. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. Don't forget to check out my website, paradoxastrology.com. Book your consultation today. I can help you with anything. And if you'd like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps to support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video. I just want to talk about the Arudha Lagna, which is very, very important. And I have never spoken about this. And you guys don't see me use this Lagna because most of the time I'm predicting for the world, but it applies to you and this will help you with your predictions as well. Now, the Arudha Lagna is a very important Lagna. It's an ascendant. So normally we have our ascendant, which is who we truly are. But the Arudha Lagna is our projection into the world, like how others see us, which is very important to know and to notice that who we truly are is not how others perceive us. If you're ever wondering, like, why does everyone think this about me? I'm not like that at all. Why do they keep thinking I know this or I'm like this? And I'm not like that at all. It's because of this Lagna. So this will help you understand people better and why they approach you. And you can use this for a lot of benefits in your life. So this could be the good or the bad traits. And sometimes this is nothing like you, nothing how you truly are, but people perceive you this way. This is another reason why if people dislike you, they are seeing their perception of you. And you will never have the same ascendant that you have in your birth chart. Who you truly are will never be the same ascendant as how they perceive you. So this is very important to understand because you should never get offended with how people perceive you because they never perceive who you truly are. So never worry about that. Get that out of your mind. The way we are perceived in this world will change depending on the transits or the effects on the Arudha Lagna. That will change our perception and its lord in society. Now, in order to calculate this, it's very easy. Now, you look at where your ascendant lord is. You count how many houses it took to get to your ascendant lord from your ascendant. And then from that lord, that same amount of houses it took to get to that lord, you count from that lord all the way back. So say I have Mars in the 5th house and say I'm Aries ascendant. I have Mars in the 5th house. So that means it took 5 houses to get to the 5th house. And then from the 5th house, then I count 5 more. So that's how you would count it. Now, the exceptions are it can never be the same house and it can never be the 7th house. So if you end up at the 7th house, then you must count to the 10th house from it instead. So to make that a little easier, if your ascendant lord is in the 1st house, the Lagna will be in the 10th house. If it's in the 2nd house, your Lagna will be in the 3rd house. If it's in the 3rd house, it will be in the 5th house. If it's in the 4th house, then it will be in the 4th house. If it's in the 5th house, then it'll be in the 9th house. If it's in the 6th house, then it will be in the 11th house. If it's in the 7th house, then it will be in the 10th house. When the ascendant lord is in the 8th house, then it's the 3rd house. When it's in the 9th house, then it ends up in the 5th house. If it's in the 10th house, it ends up in the 4th house. If it's in the 11th house, it ends up in the 9th house. If it's in the 12th house, it ends up in the 11th house. So therefore, the Lagna can never be the 1st, 2nd, 12th, 6th, 7th, or 8th houses in any horoscope. There's special considerations for Scorpio and Aquarius because Scorpio and Aquarius have 2 lords. So Mars and Ketu for Scorpio and Rahu and Saturn are co-rulers of Aquarius. So what you do is you find the planet that has the most strength, and that could be in the Shambhala score. So this is actually very important when you are predicting for yourself or for others as well, because it will show what's going on the outside. So say we want to predict for a relationship, we also have to look at this Lagna to see what is present here. If I'm going to get a job or if I'm going to gain money, for example, we have to look at this Lagna as well as the moon. Just like we look at the ascendant, we look at the moon. Some people look at the sun. So it's very important to look at this as well, because this is another indicator of how well things will go for you. because everything kind of has to line up. So this can be very beneficial if you are doing business or interacting with anybody. You can understand what they're actually seeing. So I'll give you an example. I'm a Pisces ascendant, but my Arudha Lagna is Scorpio. So you can kind of see that the way I present myself, you can see it's kind of darker aspects, is more Scorpio-like. But internally, who I really am is Pisces. So people would always say, oh, you're very mysterious. Well, that's because they're picking up on the Scorpio and not actually on the Pisces. So that's just an example. And this can also help you in, say, if you're in the entertainment industry, if you're an actor, of knowing what roles to play. I'll give you an example because I was in acting for a very long time. And when I first started in school for acting, they go around and they say, what do you think this person could play? And for me, they said either an athlete or a model. And that's because I have the Scorpio there, but also Mars is conjunct Venus in Pisces, which is an actor or model, and which I have in my ascendant as well. But they picked up on that because of my Arudha Lagna. And so your ascendant wouldn't necessarily be something that you would play. You would play more of how others perceive you. So this is also good. You can use it for business, what colors you should use for your business that will resonate. So say, for example, like me, if you're a Scorpio using very pink and pastel colors, that will come across as not genuine to others. Even though that may be genuine to me, it could be genuine to me, but they don't see me that way. So then others could be thinking that you're some way that you're not. Or this helps you get around in business, or say you're having an interview and you want to know how the person's going to perceive you. And then it goes even deeper because you can read all the houses. So you could be someone who's actually very wealthy or not wealthy at all, but then everyone thinks you're wealthy. And then that will be shown in this chart. And you're like, why does everyone keep asking me for money? I don't have money. And then that could be why. There's also many reasons, like people could think you're very smart, but you're not. And then that's something that you could use to your advantage, I guess. There's many different possibilities, but it's just, it helps us to remember that who people think we are is always how they perceive us. And also, it's very interesting that how people perceive us is based on our own karma as well, and not just their perception, because our own karma is what created this Lagna. Because there's two parts to it. What you created with your karma and what the other is perceiving, and what the other one is perceiving has to be based on your karma as well. So there's many things that are going on there that are very deep if you think about it. So that's just a little bit about this video, but I will make more about this Lagna, and I'll go deeper into it and tell you about the houses, which will show you actually certain things like fame, how you will die, many things in between. But I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next one.